Alright, and my recording stopped for some reason. I'm not even sure if I was recording. I don't know if I was recording. I'll have to check. Hold up, let me check. Okay, so I was never recording to begin with. Alright, it is early. Well, early-ish. But, I'm recording now, so you completely missed my intro, so I'll crop that somehow. My dumb ass didn't hit record. I was in photo mode the whole entire time. Yeah. The joys of mobile content creation. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna invest in some GoPros and a MacBook for editing and all that. Once I get money this coming November. We're still in September, actually, so I can't say next month, because next month will be October. So I am recording now, thankfully, so I'll say it now. What is up, guys? UTU is coming on with another video. There you go. There's my intro. You're welcome. Oh, I got a toot. And there it goes. People are probably going to smell that. Hey, when it happens, it happens. You can't stop nature. Okay. So, of course, hopefully, as I was saying before I started recording, hopefully this video goes smoother to upload through the editing process and all that. Kind of had a lot of shit to delete yesterday. Just unwanted, unnecessary shit. And I'm out of things to delete. So if I have to, I'll crop some of my photos, which I did yesterday, into an album. And delete those unwanted photos. Anyway. Yeah. The joys of mobile content creation. Oh, that doesn't sound good. Yeah. 'Tis what it is. I do believe I showed you guys the courthouse before. I'm coming up on court. Yeah. Just stuff you haven't seen. Or stuff you have seen. For the sake of storage, I am going to take a little edit here, so I'll see you guys in a bit. Alrighty, we are back. We walked south side yesterday. We're walking north side today. This is actually my route I take to go to church. Well, used to take before I started taking cabs. I used to walk about 2 miles to church every Sunday. Let's do a little test run to see if I can do it today. See how much weight I really lost. There's a little curl in my hair right here that keeps sticking out. The joys of having curly hair. Anyway. Oh, Lord. I'm from being a 5X to a 2X. I'm actually pretty proud of myself. Now I gotta put in those steps. Oh, hey, puppy. Is it a friendly puppy? Mind if I pet it?
Yeah.
So is that a no as in I can, or is that a yes as in I can?
Yeah, you can if you want.
Okay, yeah, I just want to make sure because people like to mix that up. Oh, pit bull, right? You're a big pit bull.
Let me see the other part.
And get my scent first. I'm not gonna go all in. Oh dear, I see that. Yeah, okay. That's obviously a no.
Because I'm gonna find my new card.
Bye, puppy. Alright, well, dogs. I'm a big dog guy. Sometimes you gotta be careful with dogs around here because they're not always the friendliest. So when they growl like that, that means back off. Thing about dogs, you never, ever, ever, ever run up on them. Because you don't know what they'll do. You gotta remember, they're loyal and all that. There's construction over here. You gotta remember, they're loyal and all that, but they're still an animal. And they have the mindset of an animal. If a complete stranger walks up to a dog, you gotta be cautious. That's why the parents always tell you to never pet strange dogs. You never know what they're gonna do. Anyway, yeah. Pit bulls seem to be pretty popular around here. I just want to stick out from the crowd and get like a Rottweiler and a Doberman. I just got to reteach myself to properly train them. Because growing up, I had Huskies and German Shepherds. And Rottweilers and Dobermans are two completely different breeds compared to Huskies and Sheps. But yeah, tis what it is. I'm actually making pretty decent progress. This is usually my first checkpoint here. Stopping here to get breakfast with my food stamps or benefits, what have you. But I remember when there was a time I had to sit in that cage for you to eat it. Shit. I couldn't eat it while I was walking like I used to. They also have cowboy boots and hats here. Maybe I'll have to show everybody inside at one point, but not right now because I'm passing it. Hello.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. But yeah. Anyway, what I was going to say earlier in the beginning of the video, I was thinking about after I upload my video on how to improve my content, like I always do, after I upload, always fun to come up with new ideas. Yeah. So I was thinking, during my process of vlogging, if I make an important information on a screen, I have a screen recorder, I might as well use it, right? I actually have a screen recorder built into the software of the phone, but I also have X recorder, which is what I use to upload content. I barely ever use the screen recorder for the phone, ever. It's always X recorder. So, being that I'm using the stock camera, why don't I actually use that screen recorder? I'll have to take it for a test run though, just like I do everything else. See if it works and drafts the recording into my photo library. You know, I have a editing software downloaded on my phone where I can merge videos. I now have that at my expense. Coming up on the Hope Rescue mission. Whew. Putting in the steps today, shit. Maybe after today's walk, I might be in XL again, you never know. Shit. Oh, I remember staying at the mission. Middle of winter. There it is, right there. Beautiful old building in Reading. Middle of winter. My father told me once, you ever get locked up again, don't bother coming back home. That's exactly what I did. It was on a Monday. I want to say 2018, because I moved to Redding in 2019, and then the pandemic happened. And then, 2017, 2018, I don't really remember. I've been here 5 years, so let's backtrack. It's 2020, or not 2020, 2022. I was in Redding during the pandemic, which was in 2020. That's 2 years ago. And started college in 2019. No. I did interviews to start college at the end of 2019, around the October and November. And I started college in January of 2020 during pre-pandemic. And when I was in the interviews, COVID started over in China. And thanks to air travel, it made its way over here to the States. Then eventually made its way to Redding. Everything shut down. I had a hard time staying focused because of E-classes. Not only that, I was studying criminal justice, and I tried everything I can to get around my record. So around June 2020, I dropped out to take care of the necessities first, like expungement and money for expungement. Those of you that don't know, and I'm going to tell you why I have a record, but for those of you that are subbed at me on my words are hard. For those of you that are subbed to me over on my gaming channel, know exactly why I have a criminal record. So I'm going to tell the uneducated real quick. Growing up, I didn't really have the best childhood. Ever since I was born, my dad fell in love with complete idiots because he fell for the old baby Gucci bullcrap puppy long eyelash lies. Basically what it is, lies. So, when I first came into the world, as any other woman does to my dad, completely blatantly lied to him about my safety. I had a very, very abusive mother, and she abused me in every way that there is abuse. Physically, sexually, mentally, and I think there's a fourth one. I don't know. I think there's a fourth one. I don't know what it is. But I had every form of abuse done to me. Everything from maiming me and cutting my fingernails too short to shoving vitamins down my throat because I didn't think I needed them, so I didn't take them. And shoving a screwdriver handle up my ass. And she called it a tail, and I gave in. It's an improvement, and yickety yackety. I forget exactly what she said. Long story short, she's hiding somewhere in Ohio, away from me. Now, I said yesterday, it's never, ever okay to hit a woman. Ever. But there's exceptions for every rule. If it wasn't for my mother, I would have been rich and famous by now. I was reading Oliver Twist and Moby Dick fluently in first grade and amazed my teacher. And the rest of the students were jealous of what I had, so they decided to pick on me. Did I care? No. Because I knew I was going to be somebody. And they won't. Or weren't. Would be better vocabulary. But when I was in 2nd grade, that's when my mother decided to stick a screwdriver up my ass. What was I, 7? 2nd grade, 7, yeah, it sounds about right, 7 or 8. A complete minor with a foot-long Phillips rod sticking out of his butt because the handle was shoved up his rectum. Yeah, what mother would do that to a child, right? Luckily, that's around the time my dad noticed the truth, and he told the bitch to go to hell. She resumed to call me, because the judge said I'm not allowed to have any physical contact. So she decided to get around that and call me. And it came to the point where I decided to play along. I knew I wasn't going nowhere. Then I said something and I told her to fuck off. She one day stepped out my front door. I think I was living at what was it, North Kelly, in the nicer part of Birdsboro, the big cul-de-sac area. Come on, man, seriously, you don't see me crossing? How naive. And that was around that time. I think I was 3 years living there. She showed up at my front door and decided to bring back old trauma. And supposedly, in her words, give me one of my favorite toys, which was a talking Scooby-Doo doll with a pizza in its mouth that had a ripcord. And when you pulled that ripcord, it talked. So, yeah, my dad confiscated that and put that somewhere, who knows where. But I never saw it again within the first couple of days of having it. And, yeah. Whew. That was the last time I ever saw her. But during the time she showed up at that house, my dad found someone new, fought for the same Gucci Goo Goo eyes, and this woman happened to be Michelle Carroll, my first stepmother. Then, nothing really exciting happened. Fast forward a couple of years of me living in there in North Kelly. She walked out on us, took everything she wanted and nothing else, and that included animals. And never saw her again. Then, this is where you guys came into my life. Because it was a bit of time, it's a good time. And my dad was single, being a single parent. Of course, I was never easy about it, because I didn't know I was a child. But, yeah. It's kind of rough. I didn't know. I wasn't putting any of the effort, so therefore I didn't know. And, yeah. Then my dad fell in love with another nurse that, by the way, I don't know if I said this or not, but Michelle was a nurse. That fell for the same Gucci Goo Goo eyes. And she turned out to be the worst one. Worse than my stepmother. Or my mother. Because Jennifer, for you guys know her for, is my second stepmother. And she did everything she could to try to get me to react. And I finally did. And this is where the part comes in when I had a criminal record. I lost it on her. And spent 90 days in BCP. Released early on good behavior. Because I stayed the fuck out of conflict. Didn't want to get in any more trouble. So that's how the prison system works. The more fights you get into, the longer you're there. So I stayed out of trouble. Stayed my ass in my cell. No matter how many people were trying to tell me to get out, I stayed in. And after my releasement, wasn't long before the cops were back at my door again. And within a week of me being out, I was back in BCP. But I was only in there for 3 weeks. Well, maybe not within the week, but maybe within the next couple of months. Got myself a job as a dishwasher at St. Joe's. And I was only doing that for a week or two. Still in probationary training, trying to learn the ropes. And yeah, that's when I spent my second time in BCP, which is now BCJ, by the way. And I was there for 3 weeks, and I lost my job at St. Joe's. Good paying job, the main campus across the airport, for 3 weeks, and no come, no show. And this is around the time my father said, around the third time, that time I never made it to a holding facility. Well, I did make it to a holding facility, but I never made it to the jail because the sheriff let me go because they knew I wasn't to blame for being repeatedly locked up. Because I immediately broke down in front of the judge, to which whom I know because he worked with my father. And I just said flat out, help me, I don't want to become like my mother. Always in and out of prison for over something stupid. So, of course, because the camera was at a funny angle, he saw the top of my head, and I happen to have a bald spot there because of stress. It was right here where my hairline was. And I became homeless for 5 days. It was a Monday they let me go. And was homeless from Monday through Friday. And the reason was it was only 5 days because my father came calling back to me, literally calling. That's why I said calling back to me, not crawling back to me. And he was on his knees in a complete panic and invited me back home because he was too afraid what his mother would do to him. Cool. Because he was too afraid what his mother would do to him if he left her only grandchild out in the street, i.e. me. So that was when my CM caseworker back then at the time was Rosalind, said was enough is enough. We got to get you out of here now. It was around 2018, 2019, I don't really remember. I want to say 19 because I've been here for like 5 years. And so she canceled the case that she had with me and transferred all my documents to BCC. From then on, I was in Reading under BCC housing, which you always see in the beginning and the end of my videos when I do my outro and intro. Turns out they're not good people. So, June 13th of this year, I aged out the program, and now I'm living there for free because I am no longer under BCC. Therefore, I no longer have to pay rent to housing. So, I'm living there for free. for as long as I want. And they're trying to get me out. And they can't do nothing about it. Because Berks County, the county I live in, of course, isn't doing anything about it. So, they are powerless to get me the fuck out. There's nothing they can do. Sure, they can talk and they can say all these things like it's not the clerk's office that takes care of evictions, Tell you what, let me tell you how Berks County law works. And eviction is included under that law. Technically, the Berks County Clerk's Office, if you're familiar with law, the Clerk's Office is what takes care of all the paperwork and documents for court hearings. And eviction is a civilian hearing. Here's what I learned from going to BTI. There are two types of hearings: criminal and civil. But the clerk's office takes care of both. And eviction happens to be a civil hearing, kind of like a divorce hearing. That's civil as well. And let me tell you why BCC is powerless. This is where your eyes will open, if they're not already. Because there is no documents from the clerk's office that's given to the Berks County Sheriff. And the main document that's given to the sheriff is a 90-day eviction notice saying I have 90 days to evacuate the premises with all my belongings. Where else is it going with this? They can't do nothing without that paper, is my main point. And I've yet to see a sheriff's patrol car out front on my building or have a notice taped to my door. But just in case they tried anything, I got me an attorney with Mid-Penn Legal and all that. The attorney said, I'll contact you early the following week. She never did. So that's telling me that this eviction isn't going to happen. And the majority of her words in that conversation were, and wow. Because it was a complete shock of what BCC was doing to me. And couldn't find nothing else to say. So now you're up to date. And to be honest with you, I stay in Phoenix House for as long as I want and pay free rent, which is basically paying them nothing, and there's nothing they can do about it because they don't have that paper written by the clerks saying that I have to leave. And yeah, that's why they're powerless. And see, what they told me is it's not the clerk's office that takes care of hearings, yakety yakety, and it could never be more wrong. So yeah, now you're up to date. That being said, for storage space, I'm going to take an edit because that was a long conversation. See you guys soon. I've done it. I made it to my church. Come on, man. I gotta stop in the middle of a crosswalk like that. Grace UMC. Let me actually see if I can get a thumbnail. No, not here. Hold up. No traffic. No traffic. Alright. There. Boom. Cool. Alright, got a thumbnail for today. Grace UMC. This is my church. I promise you guys to show you my church. Of course, we had service yesterday, and this is where I go. So yeah, I'm gonna sit here on the front porch and take a breather, then walk back. See you guys. All right, off to the journey back home. At least now I know I can walk to church. Yeah, how about that? Might not stick with the cab every week. I can walk in and take the cab. But yeah, to my knowledge, I now have a blister on the bottom of my right foot because I did more walking than I usually did when I was heavy. So, unfortunately, I don't have any blister band-aids. So I'm going to let the human body do its natural process of healing. Fun fact, here's something people don't know. When you have a blister, don't pop it, because it can get infected. Let that heal itself, as I do with any other injury. I don't believe in painkillers. None of them work. I don't believe in allergy medication. None of them work. I was on the strongest prescription allergy med during my prime years. It was Zantac, I believe. Or Seroquel, something like... No, it wasn't Seroquel. I'm allergic to Seroquel. Zantac. And my body got used to taking it. And it made my allergies worse. So, yeah. When I have a headache, I just power through it. Don't take ibuprofen or Tylenol or any of that. Just sleep it off. Deal with it during the day. Sometimes I wake up with headaches and I have to deal with that throughout the day and sleep that off too. It is what it is. You know, I never realized how much having a shaved head can cause so many fucking headaches. And it didn't take me long to figure that out either. I don't know how you people can put up with shaving your goddamn hair and making it look like you're fucking bald and deal with those fucking headaches. Because there's no cushion between your head and your pillow, and you're putting more pressure on your head than you usually do. And yeah, causes headaches. Not to mention that sometimes your scalp will crinkle from your pillow from so much pressure. I happen to have a heavy head, so the reason why I have a thick skull. And my skull is like 3 inches thick. I have like a fucking turtle shell on my head. So, yeah. Now I know why I was so stubborn and naive and misbehaved in my childhood. As an infant and a toddler, my dad always told me I had a thick skull. Now I know why. It wasn't because I was misbehaved, it was because it was true. And he was never afraid to keep reminding me of it. But yeah, I like hair. Speaking of bald, how about Jeff Favignano? How the hell does he not wake up with headaches? Having no hair at all. I mean, I can understand where he's coming from. Not understanding the point of styling and combing and keeping up with maintenance to make yourself look good. Hence why he not only shaved it off, but got laser hair removal. And yeah, to make himself permanently bald and not deal with hair again. But he's the main support in my content creation on my gaming channel. the first time. It only took one person to talk shit about my content and leave negativity in my comments, and he will be the one person to make an ATS video just to discuss it. I'll tell you what, when I sort out my mods and Jeff comes into my stream, it's not going to take much to give him a goddamn sword. He deserves it, let's be honest. All the support he's been putting into my channel since day one. In fact, he's the main reason why I'm still making content to this day. Because it came to a point in life, I wasn't getting anywhere at content creation. I was just thinking about deleting my channel in general. There was more negative and there was positive. And I popped into his stream. I made the announcement in chat, and he was very clear to myself. Well, he was very clear to me, I should say, to keep on making content. Because once I said I was contemplating on deleting my channel, he said he will delete his too. So, all those haters out there that say I'm no good, or I don't know what I'm doing, or my content's trash, if you watch Jeff Fabiano, oh boy, he will give you hell, and he's not afraid to. So, yeah. Jeff, if you're watching this, thank you. Thank you for all the support you put into my content creation on GTA Wiz, which is now GTA Wiz Gaming. Thank you for getting the word out. Thank you for pursuing me to keep going and picking me back up when I was down and out. When I felt like just to stop and give up and just delete my channel because there was so much negative, and more negative was positive. You were the first person to step up and say it's not cool. So, I'll see you over at Twitch, buddy. Pop into my stream. GTA Wiz official, let me know if you want that sword or not, because you most definitely deserve it. Heck, I'll even go the extra mile and give you your own office in my Discord, so you and I can talk privately while I'm streaming and no one can interfere over our conversation. No one can join the call. Just you. You deserve it, buddy. So, yeah, I just wanted to get that out the way and clear the air. Also, shout out Jeff Fabiano. Yeah. So, with that being said, it's getting windy. I want to hold on to my hat before it blows off my head. We're going to take a quick edit. See you guys soon. Alright guys, I don't know what they're building here, but it looks really nice. Looks to be like a firehouse. They're building it, a boil. But here's my theory. There's a firehouse right across the street. I think they're upgrading. But it has one bay in the back, 3 bays up front. So, I don't know. Reddingtons. Oh, yeah, here we go. Fire department. It's a firehouse. So, yeah, they are upgrading. That's what they're upgrading from. A 1 bay, 2-story firehouse. So, yeah. There you go. Little community events update for you. These guys are getting a new firehouse. After all, they do deserve it. See you soon. Alrighty guys, we are home. So that's going to be the end of today's video. Be sure to leave a like, comment, subscribe if you're new. Be sure to leave your comments in the comment section down below. And be sure to share this video and spread it like a virus. Spread it across the internet. So with that being said, this is GTA Wiz signing off. Peace.